Hey everyone, I'm Anya Esma. Welcome to this one card study video. Now, this is not a general reading. I'm going to be drawing one card from my deck and then just sort of talk about it, talk about the symbolism, talk about the narrative that it fits into, talk about the elemental energies that go into the card and all these good things, and just kind of put it in the context of tarot. If you've never seen a video of mine like this before, check out my other ones. I'm going to put a link in the description box where you can watch more videos like this, because I've done, I think, 3 or 4 at this point. If you watch this in like 3 years, maybe I've done all 78 cards, who knows? But for now, I'm just going to put some links below where you can watch some others. So let me just draw a card. And we have the Star, 17 in the Major Arcana. So we're going to talk about the Star today, the symbolism, the narratives, and all the good stuff. I'm also going to open up the Rider-Waite-Smith Star. So I have the image right next to me, but right here we have the Mucha Tarot. As many of you will know, that's like my favorite deck to work with. So I'm going to work with the symbolism of this, but also the symbolism of the Rider-Waite-Smith, so that you have an idea of the more traditional meaning. So first of all, let's see what role the Star plays within the Fool's journey. Because if you remember, the Major Arcana has 21 cards, the first one being the Fool. And the Fool is kind of going through the journey of everything, the journey of life, or the journey of one emotional healing process. The Major Arcana is very versatile in its meaning. So if you look at the place of the 17th card, we have the 16 beforehand and the 18 afterwards. So with the 16, we have the Tower card coming right before the Star. The Tower is obviously a symbol of everything being shaken up, of change that is forced upon you, maybe because you were resisting it beforehand, and then it just comes and breaks down anything that is not built on a solid base, basically. Now, with a Star, we have the recuperation from that. We have the reconnection from this energy of devastation and burning things down from the Tower towards connecting back to the all. So since the Star is a symbol of connection and a symbol of connecting back to the all, you see this with the water being signified, but we're going to talk about that when we talk about the symbols. So let's focus on the role of the Star for now in the Major Arcana Fool's journey. So as the Fool is journeying through, this is a reconnection to the all, to the universal energy, an energy of recuperation and rest, and reconnecting basically with reality. Now, as the next card after the Star, we have number 18. And with 18, we have the Moon. The Moon is another kind of, I know some people call it the dark night of the soul. I find that phrase to be a little bit dramatic, honestly. I don't like it so much. If you resonate with it, totally fine. I don't really resonate with it. What I'm trying to say is the moon is basically a symbol of going through that, like going through darkness, going through a time of weirdness and deep, deep reflection, connecting with your subconscious, with your unconscious mind, finding out things, revealing things that you did not even know were part of your psyche. All of these things are represented by the moon. So the Star is kind of the launch pad for that. And it is, on the one hand, a card of recuperating and a card of resting, as I said, because it comes after the Tower, but it's also a card of preparing by spiritually taking care of yourself and taking care of your mental health, as signified by the water, to then move on to the moon and the strangeness and crazy healing energies that the moon can bring about. That is the Star's place in the Major Arcana journey. Now let's talk about the symbols in this card and the elemental energies that we have here. Obviously, it's very strongly associated with water. That is what I was speaking about before as well. Now, I actually like the Rider-Waite-Smith Star a little bit better. I hope YouTube doesn't like block this video because of all the nudity in this card. But anyways, I'll show it. So what you have here is the person having 1 foot in the water and 1 foot on the ground, and also pouring one device, one vessel of water into the water and one vessel of water into the earth. So once again, we have the symbolism here of connecting reality and your emotions together. Whereas with the tower, we had the strong fire energy, this burning down, this sudden change. With the star, we have a more flowing, watery energy that helps you reconnect your emotions and reality, and kind of takes you into reality, but on a spiritual level, so that everything is sort of connected and you feel more aligned again. That is what the star symbolizes. So if you draw it in a spread, it could also mean that you have to think about how you can reconnect better with your spiritual side, with your mental health, as signified by the water in this case as well. Now, in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, we have a very exciting symbol, a very tiny, exciting symbol, which is the Ibis in the very back on a tree. In the Mucha Tarot, it looks more like an eagle, honestly, if you look at it closely. Well, that's unfortunate, I would say. It could be an ibis too, but it really doesn't look like one. And the ibis is, as you may know, the symbol, the symbol of Thoth. In ancient Egypt, it was the symbol of Thoth, also associated with Hermes, meaning the god of magic, of the moon, of mathematics, of record keeping, of writing, these sorts of things. So it's kind of a nod, probably in the Rider-Waite-Smith, to that whole mysticism that surrounds Thoth as a god. Now, that is meaningful. That is like in the background. It's not in the foreground. It's just kind of a layer in the back. That sort of magic and moon foreshadowing, sort of, because Thoth also is associated with the moon, and the moon is the next card, and the ibis, you get it. Foreshadowing, sort of. That some magic is going to come up. We have this a lot, the foreshadowing. You know, if you think about the death card, you can already see as well the 2 towers of the moon in the background as well. Anyways, now we also have many, many 7-pointed stars, actually 7 small ones and 1 big one that are in this. In the Mucha Tarot, you don't have this, so let's stick with the Rider-Waite-Smith, because that 7-pointed star is a very it's a very meaningful symbol, because on the one hand, it is associated, you know, the number 7, obviously. The number 7 is associated with so many things, so many magical things. In Christianity, it's associated with the 7 days of creation. In ancient alchemy, it was associated with the 7 metals corresponding to the 7 planets. And in Kabbalah, it is associated with the planet Venus and one of the spheres. So you have plenty of meanings that you can basically draw from here, whichever one you resonate with most. One kind of basic thing about tarot, I don't think that we should spend too much time thinking about what the intention of the author was, the intention of the person who conceptualized the cards and Smith who drew the cards, but rather think about what resonates with us, because the intention behind it is cool, great to know it, but sort of the same as when you interpret a book in literary studies. I don't like too much taking into consideration the author. I prefer to just look at the text and look at what the text says and the many, many things, because the text and the images in the end are greater than the authors. They are greater than their painters. That's just a fact. And there are things that they could have never intended that are in the text or in the tarot card in this case. So I think it's very, very valuable to not hold on to this like, oh, it doesn't mean this, it only means this. It has many, many meanings, and you can see which one you resonate with. So the 7-pointed star is a very complex thing. You can read up on it yourself as well, but that's essentially the symbolism. Okay, so we talked about the narrative of the star, we talked about the symbolism, we talked about elemental energies, And I also kind of want to draw attention again to the fact that this is water energy, but so is the moon that comes up afterwards. Whereas the moon is more the overwhelming, mystical, kind of ocean type energy, where, you know, if you look at the ocean, you're just overwhelmed by how mystical and scary and huge it is. Whereas this star, if you look at it, it's more like a nice pond or lake energy that is contained. It's nice blue water, fresh, clean, and it's more about like taking care of your emotions. I feel like I've said like in this video a lot. That's gonna bother me when I edit it. Anyways, that is Anya in the future's problem. So you have this energy of contained emotion, of kind of manageable emotion, whereas the moon is a lot less manageable. It's huge and it's vast in its definition of water energy, whereas the star has this like more contained energy, but at the same time, the connection to the all, because water is everything and water goes everywhere. Water is in everything. So in that sense, it has that idea of connection as well. If, as you can see, she is pouring out the water, having one foot in the water as well. So the idea of connecting to the all is stronger here than with the moon. So even though they're both water energy, it's kind of different types of water energy. Now, of course, we can look at the person as a symbol in itself. There's nudity in the Rider-Waite-Smith. There's some nudity in this, but not too much in the Mucha Tarot. And that is also a symbol of vulnerability, a symbol of being real with yourself and really sitting with your emotions and really connecting with the all without anything in between, without anything between you and reality. Not that clothes cut you off from reality. That's kind of the implication I'm working with here. But you know what I mean. You have a more immediate sense of your surroundings if you are naked. You feel more things, you connect to more things because you are simply not protected in any way by clothing. So that is also a very meaningful thing. So let's talk for a minute about how you would read this card in a spread. So it can have many different meanings like any major arcana card, but the main meaning a lot of the time is you have to take time to rest, to recuperate, and to reconnect with both reality and your spiritual self and your mental health, taking care of your mental health and your physical health. That can literally mean taking a bath. It can literally mean looking at the stars in the sky. It's kind of a card of that very classical meaning of self-care. You know, self-love can mean many, many things. It can mean being tough with yourself as well. It can mean doing shadow work, but not so much with the star. The star is about healing. The star is about gentleness. It's about softness. It's not about the whole moon narrative of like, really going down into your shadow and working with it. It's the stage beforehand where you prepare for that by taking care of your mental health, your physical health, your spiritual health, and reconnecting to the all, reconnecting to the universe, and also to reality around you, giving yourself a little bit of a reality check and taking care of yourself holistically. That is what the star oftentimes calls for in a spread. Okay, I think I'm going to leave you with that. If you have more meanings that you think of when you see the star, let me know, because I feel like there are probably a zillion that I'm not thinking of or that I can't discuss because I don't want this video to be like 50 minutes long. Let me know what your feeling is about the star, when it comes up for you, what it has meant in the past, what you think it might mean for you at the moment if you were to draw it. And let's discuss, let's talk. So thank you so, so much. I hope it was okay that I focused more on the Rider-Waite-Smith card rather than the Mucha Tarot. I know in previous instances I've focused more on the Mucha Tarot, but the Rider-Waite-Smith card has a lot more meat to it in this case, I feel like. So I wanted to do that. Anyways, thank you so, so much for watching. If you want to dwell in my domain a little longer, feel free to subscribe. and I'm looking forward to seeing you again very, very soon. Thank you.